Hi guys, and welcome to another F1 Clash video by myself as a WF1. This week we have the Red Bull Team Series event, so probably one that a lot of people have been looking forward to. A big 10% increase on Perez and Max Verstappen, so I'll show you that shortly as we get another 7 Perez quickly. And it is looking like it could be a high scoring week with Series 12 drivers now boosted. So we're going to have to be on our best as we get Prestige and another Perez, which is a lot better. So we're probably going to be rocking a Perez this weekend. So let's firstly show you what we have. We've got the qualifying round. Obviously, because we're doing this on a Wednesday, we're going to enter champion as we always do. So let's qualify into that one. I don't know if they've released the tracks yet. They haven't on mine. But first track, you can see we do have Austin. Okay, so let's look at the sort of what we're offering this weekend. So you've got your Team Series crate, and just to have a look at that, you've got 35% drop on both Perez and Verstappen. So that's not too bad at all. But your top crates are 3,550. So it does get or end up getting very expensive. Just the drivers this week then, no parts. And let's get straight into qualifying. Let's show you what I'm using. So if it's a dry race, I'm going to be going with a Gasly and a Perez. And if it's a wet race, I will be going to a Norris and Perez. That's the plan. Norris is good in the wet, so we do require that. Verstappen, for me, just not high enough level yet. Okay, so let's get into that first race, which is at Austin in the dry. First race in Austin, 0% chance of rain. And let's see if we can get this weekend GP off to a good start with qualifying in the week. So let's see where we're going to qualify. 8th and 11th. So that Sergio Perez is qualifying fairly decent. Ahead of Gasly already, which is one to watch out for. We're going to go soft and soft. I'm not going to use any boosts. Some of the good boosts like Austin, I'd want to use downforce, for example, most likely. I don't have too many left. So I have got to watch how many I use. But I'm going to trust my strategy. And I'm going to hope that we can pull through as somehow Perez goes wide from a decent position. So 8th and 11th we've started. Perez did get 6th by the first corner, but decided to take a stupidly wide line. And as I said to you, we are going to do 2 sets of 3 pit stops. Oh, can't even get my words out rightly, but you'll see what I mean. We're going to come back twice with both drivers. So 5th for Perez and 10th for Gasly. So they've moved off the position and Perez up 3. I'm not going to worry about the rival. They're down in 15th and 17th. As Perez into the first corner nearly loses a position again. Just going to boost to keep it up. It's always worth boosting in the right areas where it can be a bit cautious. Just so you can keep the positions in question. Okay, so Gasly will hold there. And Perez round into 5th. Hard tyre ahead, but we're not really closing on Russell, which is interesting. And I do want to keep more than 50% service because I do want to have a quicker pit stop. Second for the first pit stop, and then we'll go full service on the second. So I'm going to medium boost Perez, and I'm going to medium boost Gasly, who's just lost a position. And I'm just going to bring these home into a soft no pit stop. And soft tyres will come in this lap. And Gasly, I am going to... what should we do with Gasly? No, we'll do the same strategy. And I'll bring them in. So I'm just going to create a gap to Alonso. Bearing in mind, I am at over 50% anyway. And same with Gasly. We'll bring Gasly back a little bit as Perez now pits. So a decent pit stop then for Perez, and we will now boost for 2 laps. And I like to come back for a medium pit stop and go flat out to the end. So Gasly, can we get 14th? Not quite. A lot of pit stops ahead though. And I'll just cut down because it's so hard to overtake through here. And boost back up. So Perez all over the back of Gasly. And they will pit this time around. So 3 cars ahead are going to be pitting. As Perez somehow doesn't get up the inside there. And like I said, we'll be back for mediums. So Perez into 5th. Gasly coming around in 13th. Which now makes it up the inside, not quite. So a few dodgy moves, let's say, in this race so far. Hasn't been plain sailing. It definitely would help if I was to use boosts, 100%. Downforce and dead fast, very good on here. But we have got over 4 laps of fuel on each. As Perez now comes into the pits. Which will be a longer stop this time. And same with Gasly. Gasly's service has just worked out perfect. And we're going to go to the end here. As Perez keeps 7th place. It's a very long stop for Gasly this time. And back out in 15th. So probably the wrong strategy to go on for Gasly. We probably should have gone a longer, maybe a 1-stop strategy, but we'll see what happens. He hasn't wanted to overtake as quickly as Perez has. And Perez goes up into 6th place. Whereas Gasly's really struggling to get through the field at the moment. Just not wanting to overtake at all. It almost feels a bit broken, this sort of race. It's not very smooth. Especially from where we started. Whereas Perez slows down really hard at that corner, which I don't understand why. As Gasly gets up into 13th. And can Perez go up the inside? He can, but can't keep the place. As he goes up the inside again, so it grabs 4th. Gasly still on a road to recovery. But he's still into 12th and not the best on fuel either. So definitely back to the drawing board on this race. Just shows we're not perfect all the time with our strategies. But I definitely probably should have gone a 4 and a 4 a Gasly rather than putting both cars on the same strategy, because it just hasn't worked as Leclerc goes flying off the track. Few people broke down in front. Not going to matter too much. Perez comes home in 4th. That shows you what was possible. As Gasly now makes it up into 9th place with a bit of luck. But it's not brilliant, but it is 37 points. So we'll take it. It's not the best, but it is only qualifying. So 37 points to start off. Here we go then. Race 2 out of 4. And it comes from Azerbaijan and Baku. So a similar track to Austin that we've just raced. And we're up against it in terms of our opponent. So opponents absolutely rocking some great sort of cards by the look of it. And we are down there in 10th and 11th, which is natural for us. But it's going to be hard to come back against this one. So 2nd and 6th, a lot of medium to hard as we set off, and we'll see what we can do in this race. Bit of practice as Gasly gets an okay start, but he's going to get squashed out as we always do, and suddenly we find ourselves back in 10th and 11th after sort of looking like Gasly was going to be up to about 6th place. So we'll cut down. We are going on a 2-stopper again for both. I would rather have 1-stopper, medium, but I need the sort of boosts to help me do that strategy. And like I said with the last race, I just don't want to use them yet. I don't want to ruin having them boosts not available in me in the final. So we'll boost Perez down the straight into the first corner. See if we can pick up past Perez, which we should be able to do, bearing in mind he's on the hard tyre. And he also 9th and 11th. It's going to be hard to get anywhere near this top 4-5. But we never give up. Qualifying, I'll always qualify easy because that's just the level of the car that I'm at the minute. But qualifying can have an effect on a tiebreaker if need be, but I'll run the risk until one day I eventually lose out and I'll learn from it. But that's not just yet. So Perez will boost again going down the straight because this is the main overtaking part. And Perez, does he get into 8th? He does. And Gasly still in 11th, can't get past a hard tyre even though he's on softs. So Perez, we're going to come back. Gasly, we're going to put on a slightly different strategy because we haven't used too much fuel of him. And we're going to try and go a bit longer. It might not matter too much, but we're going to give it a go. Perez, we're going to get in on a quick pit stop. Because I haven't built a massive gap, so we shouldn't lose too much unless now we slow down ridiculously quick and we're stuck behind as the Ferrari comes out. So we're getting very unlucky as well in this, I must say. There's another slow, because nearly the Alfa Romeo comes out, slows us down, makes us lose P14. It's just not very easy, this one at the minute, not very smooth, as Perez now 9th behind 2 medium tyre runners. If I was you in this Grand Prix for both tracks that we've played so far, really have one go in a 4 and a 4 and have the other go in a 3-2-3, 3-3-2 kind of strategy. It's the best way, but for me, I'm just not doing it for this one. So Gasly still struggling, which is a shame because he's a level 8 Gasly. He's a great Series 11 driver, and it's just not working for him at the minute. And it's the same in the last race. So we might have to look at maybe getting Max in. Maybe an Alonso, that kind of thing. We're going to have to look at something different if Gasly continues to go as he goes. So Gasly right behind Tsunoda eventually gets him into 12th. And he'll come round into the last lap on that tyre. Perez is now 13th. And Gasly gets stuck on the corner again. Gasly's not performing at all. I don't know what it is. Maybe he didn't have breakfast this morning. I don't know. But there we go. 11th and 13th at the minute. Perez can only improve, you'd hope. And Gasly will pit for some softs, so he will be faster now. But it's not that he's going to mean much. As Perez comes by into 7th place. And we're chasing down the 6th place Perez. Gasly gets stuck behind Alonso, which means he then gets stuck in the pits and loses out to Tsunoda. Standard. As the opponent has a failure on Perez. And we make it up to 6th place. With a couple of pit stops, or one pit stop definitely, which will jump. So it's a good strategy from Perez. The Perez strategy has worked. Gasly is Gasly, still stuck behind Tsunoda, who is on a hard tyre, and he gets past him eventually. And no one in the pits, which is my luck. So 12th place for Gasly now. Perez is coming up behind Hamilton, who's about to run out of tyres. So we're going to get P4, and it's the same as last race. We're looking good with Perez, just not with Gasly. As we'll push all the way to the line, and we'll just take 4th. Gasly's stuck behind Gasly, and we'll hopefully get him here. No, we won't, of course. Gasly's on the medium tyre, and we're unable to get him. So, frustrating. It is 35 points. So, we're a little bit under the weather at the minute. Race 3 in Bahrain, and the matchups have not been our favour so far. It's been very difficult races, and it's only getting tougher. So, it's like there's been a change to the matchmaking, because I don't usually struggle this much with these matches. So it's going to be hard. It's annoying, but there we go. I don't really know what to do here, to be honest, because either strategy is just not working at the moment. So I'm just going to try and put a boost on one just to bring the points up. We're going to qualify easy, but still, it's the point of it. Definitely, if I was you, split your drivers, do a free tyre selections like soft, medium, soft or something like that, but then do a medium on the others. Is definitely the best way to go for all these tracks, really. So do a 2-stop and a 1-stop, as we are in 6th and 7th, which is kind of interesting because every other race we haven't really made great starts, and we come to Bahrain and we actually make a good start. But we have jumped the rival, but the other rival's well out in front. Gasly gets ahead. Good for cornering this track. And you can see by that with the tune-in getting Gasly ahead against Perez already. As Perez goes wide, but we use that boost. So always keep an eye on your driver. If your driver makes a mistake like that, use the boost, get them back in front. And we'll lose that place to Perez on mediums, which is a bit interesting. I'm not too bothered because I need to create a little bit of a gap. Obviously the rival's pushing anyway. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to push a little bit here. But I do want to keep it under 50% of the servicing. Okay. As 5th place is taken by the Ferrari, and we'll try and get past at this section as well if we can. Of course we can't. It's Perez on the hard tyre, and we can't get past him, I think. So that's what I'm thinking is, guys, this sort of day has been quite hard actually so far, as we bring Gasly into the pits for a quick pit stop, and we'll do the same with Perez. Gasly's already out, and he will keep into 6th. Big position, that one. And Perez into 12th. So a lot of pit stops now to come. And hopefully we've used a bit of an undercut here, and we'll manage to jump a lot of them going fast on the softer tyre. You can see ahead of me, sort of 1, 3, 4 and 5 all got to pit, and even behind me. So we should jump up a lot of places here, just because we've done the undercut and gone on faster tyres. So into the pits they go. Gasly's into 3rd. And I've got plenty of fuel left as well. Perez down the inside, both cars into 7th. Which is a great start to this section. And Gasly now up to 2nd. So it just shows you what a boost can do. You put the right boost on your car and Gasly comes alive. Without boosts, Gasly couldn't overtake anything. So it's very interesting to know that if you want to improve your final round results in GP, you need to use your boosts. So Gasly into 3rd. Perez will come back out about 10th place, or maybe 8th if he keeps that position, which he does. So Gasly 3rd, Perez 8th with 2 laps to go. And we've got 4 seconds to the leaders who are on hard tyres, including one of them is the rival. Perez is in 8th, and Perez has got maybe one more pit stop ahead, but he's about 8 seconds behind. Can Gasly go down the inside? He can. P2, so can we get P1? And this is how you use boosts in GB pretty much. And we are now right behind the rival. Fuel's not on our side, but we should have a good chance of getting past the rival. Bearing in mind it's on the hard tyre, we're on the medium, and we've got a cornering boost. So there we go, P1. Which is a great, considering where we were. And we're nearly going to outscore the rival here, based on current evidence. As Perez up the inside into 7th place. Yes, 6th because of pit stops. So we are now beating the rival who had a lot better starting position than us. Can we get Perez past the rival Perez on the hard tyre? We shall give it a go. We're obviously level with the rival, so if the rival does pick up a spot, he will outscore us. But considering where he were, that's okay with me. This is not final round. The rival will outscore us, sadly. But I take massive pride in managing to get my drivers 1st and 6th. 44 points for the rival, 43 for me. Race number 4 out of 4, and we are in Spain in Catalunya for the Barcelona Grand Prix. Now, we have got a interesting qualifying position here, so 3rd and 12th for the rival, 9th and 10th. So I think off memory they were roughly about 70-80 team score ahead of us, I would argue. So it's going to be very sort of tough to work this one out. We're going to use our boost again. We're going to try and show you that actually boosts change drivers. So we're going to start and we're going to do a 1 stop for both drivers. We've had 3 matchups in this GP. If you've watched to the end here, 3 matchups where we've had a very tough starting position compared to the rival. So we're doing the best we can do, and we'll continue to do so. So as we settle down then, P8 and P10 for ourselves. And what we'll do is we'll just keep boosting into the main overtaking spots. So this is including one of them. And we get both drivers through. So 8th and 9th. And they're on different strategies. So we're not going to be stacking either. We're going to do a 4-4 Gasly and a 5-3 for Perez. So we're going to try and miss out some of the cars in front. I will keep an eye out on the 4 though, because we've got 3 hard tyres in front of us, so we could actually undercut them. We definitely should undercut them with Gasly if they do 5 laps. But I know Gasly and Perez at the moment are too close together for my liking. So we'll continue round. For Spain, I would 100% go for a 4 soft 4 medium every time. It's the perfect strategy. It really is. So definitely give that a go if you can, because for me, I can do 4 soft, conserve, medium boost majority for the time, and then I'll go 4 medium pretty much flat out all the way to the end. So it's definitely worth a go as we bring Gasly through. Perez is doing far than enough decent on fuel. As Gasly gets up into 7th and we cut down because it's going to be tight on fuel. Perez is looking good for a pit stop. He's on 40%, but far too close to our driver in front. So he's not going to be able to commit 4, so he's going to have to go an extra lap. And we have got enough left at the moment, so we're going to get him in as he gets past Russell. And Perez now into 7th, make that 6th. And we'll have Gasly come out in 9th, which makes now 12 after some overtaking down the straight. So we've got Gasly coming back through. He's got a lot of hard tyres in front of him. Perez has got a lot of hard tyres as well, but he's making his way through into P5. Obviously, we've got a speed and overtaking. Not really the best boost for this track, I don't feel. But it's one that I wanted to put on to see. But this is clear that boosts can help you in GP. They just do. If you're not needing boosts, if you're not using boosts, then it's pointless. Look where Perez has come out. Different strategy. He's come out 2 places ahead of Gasly. 2 seconds ahead. And he was about 3 seconds behind going into the pits. And he's now on the softer tyre. So it's definitely worth sticking them boosts on. So let's see if we can gain anywhere more. We are about even points with the rival as we now take over that. P5 and P7. Perez using that overtaking boost now into P4. And these boosts have literally transformed Perez and Gasly into racing drivers. As Gasly now gets into 6th. Can Perez go down the inside? He can. So we're going to have 1 lap left. We're probably not going to make 2nd. It's 6 seconds. Gasly's going to be tight on tyres, but we'll give him a go. He has got a soft tyre ahead though, so it's going to be difficult. But it's P3 for Perez, who's absolutely flying. He's got the gap down to 3. He's not going to be able to get him though. You can see him just going around, coming up to the chicane now. So we've really closed that gap with Perez with the speed and overtaking. It's down to 1.4 seconds across the line. And Pierre Gasly now coming around into 5th. And that is a lot better race considering we only use 1 boost. So 42 points. We will take that. We beat the rival who had a poor showing in the end. But a 42 points to finish off. We can't complain for that race too much. If we had a boost on Gasly, probably would have been 44, 45 points. But 42, considering how we've been, is a lot better. You can see the team score. We're sort of 80 something down nearly in the end. I think 75. So we're always up against it, but we have beat the rival with decent strategy and decent boosts. Let's see where that leaves us then. So P1, 157 points. That sees us comfortably through, considering we're going to be down in the low 100s, if that. But that will see us through to the weekend. So if you have enjoyed the video, please do like and subscribe. It's much appreciated. Comment any questions or help that you need and I'll get back to you. And if not, I'll catch you in the next one.